If you're listening to this podcast, you are trying to stand out in your industry, in your department, in your company. The reason why you're not getting ahead is because you're doing what everybody else is doing. You're modeling somebody else's behavior, whether that's somebody lateral to you, somebody within your industry, or somebody who you feel is a few steps ahead of you. And unfortunately, that's not going to get you noticed. You have to do something completely different. And this episode is about why you should be doing the opposite of what others are doing. Hey, I'm Laurie-Ann, and this is Be in Demand. This is the podcast for corporate leaders and entrepreneurs who are ready to be seen, be heard, and be that obvious next choice for that next big opportunity. Let's get on to the show and talk about how you can do the opposite. Every time I go to a conference as an attendee, and sometimes the bigger the conference, the bigger the lunch break. And sometimes it can be like a 2-hour break. And I will watch where the crowds are going. In some of these good conferences that I've attended, like people will actually give some directions. Like if you go out the front doors and you go to the right, you're going to see a bunch of restaurants. And the problem is that thousands of people are going out the doors and going to the right. And that means all of those restaurants, all of those fast food places are going to be crowded and have lines. And unfortunately, I don't think they're always warned. I mean, it would be a great idea for the manager of these places to look at the different conferences that are coming to town so that they can be better prepared for those lunch and dinner rushes. But what I'll do is I'll go and do the opposite. If everybody is going right, I'm going to go left and I will go find some place. Now, there have been conferences that do not have a lot around there to eat. So I've gone for coffee at Starbucks and I'll also grab a sandwich just in case. So that's just a little example of doing the opposite. And because I did that, then I didn't get hangry and I could take in more of the information. But this is about your career, about your business. And too many times we look around at other people. As a matter of fact, one of the things I say to the corporate private clients that I work with is that they came into corporate, chances are after they got out of college. And you're kind of new and you're getting a feel for what this company is like, what the culture is like. And you go into meetings and you hear somebody talk and present. And they sound very monotone, getting to the point, trying to sound really confident and really professional. And then you learn that habit. And unfortunately, because you're following these monotone role models, you become monotone yourself. And that doesn't keep people engaged. And I actually believe that if we had more engaging presentations in these corporate meetings, that more people would remember what they needed to do and get done afterwards. Now, in the case of coaches and consultants who are following what everybody else is doing over on social media, you are just drowning in the noise. You don't stand out. It's a reason why this podcast is downloaded and my downloads keep going up every single month. And people are booking calls with me because they realize they have to be different. They have to stand out in their company, in their industry, in order for people to remember them, to hire them if they're coaches or consultants, and also to get promoted if you happen to be a corporate leader. So this is about doing something different and stop doing what everybody else is doing. So what I'd love for you to do is to actually write down, what is everybody doing? What's the sameness? How could you stand out? How could you move forward and stand out? This could be everything from speaking to your style of clothing. And if you listened to a couple of episodes before, I was talking about the in-clothes cognition. And that was episode 430. So take a moment to go back and listen to that if you haven't already. So it could be something about the way that you're dressing. Maybe you want to add more color because everybody's wearing gray and black. I know that I came from the healthcare corporate side, the medical device side, and I did wear a lot of black and I started to just blend in with everybody else. So think about that. Think about the way that you're dressed, the way that you're speaking, and your public speaking or communication skills. That's what's going to separate you from others and make you more memorable. And when you are heard more and you are seen more, you're going to get that next big promotion. You're going to get that next big opportunity, whether that's a big client, a big contract. That's up to you, but you have got to do something different if you want a different future, if you want a different career path, or you want a better business growth. This is all in your hands. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Do something different. Show up differently. Be seen differently. Be heard differently. Help people have a different opinion of you. Build your reputation. That's what's going to get you known. As a matter of fact, I have a gentleman who is in an industry that is rapidly changing. And he shared with me that he knew, like, because his company had recently gotten bought, he knew that he had to do something different. He had to build his own personal brand. And he knew that speaking was going to be the way that he was going to do this, whether it's at industry conferences, panels, or even podcasts. That's how he was going to start to build his brand so that if his position did get eliminated, he was going to have opportunities because people would know who he is. Hey, I have a couple of requests. One is, if you enjoy this show, please leave a review. The more reviews I have for the show, the more that Apple and Spotify and all the other podcast apps will share it with other people who are not currently listeners. And the second one is, if you are ready to embrace public speaking and be a confident communicator and show up differently, be heard differently, so that you're that next obvious choice for that next big opportunity, I want to encourage you to book a call with me. The link will be down below in the show notes. And on that call, I'm going to ask you where you are right now and where it is that you want to get to. And I will share with you how we can work together, how I work with clients. And currently, I know it's the summertime, and I am booking clients who are going to start working with me in the fall, whether that's to work on your communication skills for corporate leaders. And if you are a small business owner and want to write your own in-demand signature speech, clients are reserving places to work with me in the fall now. So until next week, I want you to be in demand and embrace being different and standing out so that you are remembered and the obvious next choice.